Page 13, Chorale. It's really a piece that's meant to be sung. People like where they can hold the note out. See, a piano, we can't hold the note out very well. All we can do is play it, and then it dies away. I can't control it once I've played it. I can't get louder or softer or nothing. It's like a wind instrument or a violin or something where they can control the sound as it's going. We can't do that on piano. We just play the note and it just dies away. However, we do what we can with these chorales. I look it over, it's a page long, treble bass clef, 3/4 time signature. I see a bunch of quarter notes and dotted half notes. Makes sense, because a dotted half note, remember, is the same as 3/4 notes as far as counting goes. In other words, it gets 3 times what a quarter note gets, or in 3/4 time, it gets 3 counts, which is the whole measure. Okay, right hand first. Let's see what we got. I got some fingering suggestions here. Starting in that position with 1, 2, 3. And the thumb comes down here. But for the measure 4, rather than thumb, I mean, you can do it. There's nothing wrong with it. I just don't want to. I'm going to use second finger. Generally, when I do that, I will use 1 and 2 here rather than thumb on both. I don't recommend it. Second line, the notes are here, but they want both hands 8/8. You got to lift up and come up here. Same thing. And then a 2-1 for the last one. And then measure 9, you got the local again, which means locally or where it's printed. They don't really need the local. The fact that the dash line on the AVA went away, I mean, at the end of the line it went down, you're over. That tells you it's local. But just to be clear, it's there. In other words, if the LOCO were not there at measure 9, it would still be local. You don't have to have it. Okay. Left hand. Well, here again we got this and this. I'd rather not. I want to use second finger there. So I'm going to use 5/2, 5/1, and 4. And again, measure 5, same thing, only you got to come up here. It's both hands 8/8. Then back down here, again, 5/2, 1, going back and forth. Okay, put the hands together. Now what do we got? We got this. Ha. And I'll hesitate. That's okay. That's all part of this right now. And then here. And then here. These right here. And then both hands got to come up. Well, let's talk about that. We're moving both hands at the same time. There's no rest, no nothing. You're going to lift up for the phrasing, like taking a breath. So that gives you a little bit of time, but not much. And as you lift up, you're also going to move here to here. You're going from here to here. You may have to practice here to here. So you're here at the end of the line, and I want to be here at the next line. To here. Here. To here. You practice that. You just lift up and move. You gotta look down, of course. You lift up and move. We do practice hand movements because the beat has to be a steady beat. So we do that. Then at the second line, we gotta come back down where we were. So again, same thing. Now we're gonna stay here for the rest of the piece. We're not moving around anymore. Watch out on measure 11. I missed it before. In the left hand, the bottom note comes down 1. And you can use a 5/2 here if you want, or you can use a 1 here, whichever. But on measure 12, I'm going to use 4/1 here. It's like I was doing here. Well, I do the same with a little finger. When we're here, we do that. So in measure 11, you're here. In measure 12, I'm going to go ahead and use 4 finger. I don't want to use 5th again. Now in measure 13, I can use 5 because I want to use 2. This gets a little more involved. Well, let's talk about it because you need to learn to do this as far as the fingering goes. In repeated notes, that's a note that's played more than once. It's quite common in fingering something when we have to prepare the hand or we got to move the hand somewhere else, we'll move it on the repeated note. Because on a repeated note, you got to lift up anyway. Well, I I can change fingers on a repeated note. I mean, I got to lift up anyway. What's the difference? So I can change hand positions on repeated notes. All right, this left hand, let's talk about this. Starting at measure 9. I want 5-2 here because I got a 5-1 in the next one. But now on the next one, I got both hands are coming down. That's all right, just lift up. And now 4 here. Now for measure 13, I got the same notes. They're both repeated. So I'm going to change hand positions on that. Instead of 4-1, I'm going to do 5-2. So I'm ready for the next one. So again, start with measure 9, 5-2, 5-1, then 5-1 again, both go down. Then a 4-1. Then on measure 13, it's a 5-2, same notes. It's important you learn to do this. So why not do it now while the music is fairly simple, and this is fairly simple, rather than waiting until the music's hard and you think, oh, I got to do this now. You'll already be able to do it. So that's what the book is keeping you in this nice, neat position. And that's really, we don't use that position typically in playing piano. So why bother? Just learn the way it is now. Anyway, once I get the hands put together, I get the hesitations worked out. No hesitations, keep it slow, but no hesitations. Then I'll add the articulation, and this is very connected. Lift up. It's like every couple of measures is a phrase. You can lift up. Yeah, every couple of measures is like taking a breath. The fermata at the end, you just hang on to that and let it die away for a while. If I do it with a metronome, I'll hold it 6 counts instead of 3. I just double it. Then the dynamics. And this is going to apply to whatever hand has the quarter notes. Moderately soft, mezzo piano. This is soft. And the left hand gets it. The right hand soft. Left hand is very soft. Now the left hand gets it. Now moderately loud in the third, in the right hand. And come down a little bit. Now the left hand. I think you could get a little softer as you go through that. If you want to. The music doesn't say to, it's just I felt it. Once I do the dynamics, I'll think about the speed. This is slowly, it is. It's like the top singers, the ladies or whoever, and then the men down at the bottom are responding. That's sort of how it's sort of going back and forth between the singers. Ritardando at the end, you slow down a little bit. How much you slow down is up to you, but don't drag it. So don't go. That would work if people were actually singing it and they could hold the sound out, but on a piano it doesn't, where it just, ugh. Now there's showing pedal here, and I'm not so sure I like it, because really they're using it to help you move your hands. I think I would prefer to just leave the pedal out, because there's a much better way to pedal this, but you haven't learned those pedal techniques yet. So I would suggest you just don't use pedal on this, and then after you've been through the book and you learn the other pedal techniques, you come back through and play it again, and you can pedal this in several places. You can pedal it on the second measure, on the dot. Anytime you have a dotted half note in both hands, you can pedal it. But don't do it yet. wait until you learn those techniques first. Right now, just don't use pedal on this piece. It's fine. Let's play it together slowly and check the notes and the rhythms. I'll give us 3 counts. And I'm not going to do the dynamics, but I will do the 8VA and all that junk. 1, ready, go. 2, 3. 2, 3. 2, 3. 2, 3. 3. 3. 2, 3, hold, 2, 3, off.